coming Friday marks 100 years since one of the country's most deadly train crashes. It happened in Hammond, Indiana, on a day when the circus was coming to town. Eyewitness News reporter Paul Meinke takes us back to that day a century ago.
They have slept here for 100 years. Some were known only by nickname, Baldy, four-horse driver. But most of the grave markers here are labeled unknown male or unknown female. Each has a number. This is Showman's Rest, where a mass burial plot contains the remains of 56 performers and roustabouts of the Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus. Their circus train had come to a stop on these tracks in Hammond. Most of the train had switched to a different track, but 4 sleeper cars sat on the main line. It was June 22nd, 1918. About 4 a.m., everyone was asleep when an empty troop train came barreling at them from behind, upwards of 30 miles an hour. Its engineer had fallen asleep at the throttle.
When the troop train engine hit, it destroyed the caboose totally. They never found the guy that was in the caboose. It was just destroyed, and the troop train just kept going on and on and on.
The crash was so loud, a neighbor said he thought the steel mills had blown up. Those who weren't killed on impact were buried in the debris of cars made entirely of wood. It became an inferno.
The kerosene lamps that used to light the coaches is spread over the lumber and started the fire. A lot of people were trapped. They couldn't get out. They just burned to death.
86 souls perished, a circus strongman, a clown's wife and sons among them. The engineer of the troop train was charged with manslaughter, but after a mistrial, those charges were dropped. He had missed signals and flares telling him to stop.
You're helpless. What could they do? They tried to signal the oncoming train, and there was no response, and there wasn't even a slowdown.
The Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus train wreck remains one of the worst rail disasters in U.S. history. The late Warren Reeder was a 5-year-old Hammond boy back in 1918, eager, like so many others, to see the circus. Half a century later, he provided a window to history with his book, No Performances Today, which has just been reprinted by the Hammond Historical Society.
This is sacred ground.
Shortly before the tragedy, the Showman's League of America bought a tract of land at Woodlawn Cemetery. Little did its members know that the first burials would be en masse. The League recently unveiled this new marker dedicated to the unnamed, the unclaimed, the unrecognizable. Remarkably, 3 days after so many died a century ago, the Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus, with borrowed acts from other circuses, put on a performance in Beloit.
What do they miss? 2 performances? Yeah, 2 performances is all they miss because others, we work with our own. We stay together. So they help them because the show must go on.
No animals died in the wreck, but Showman's Rest will always be marked by its elephant statues, their trunks lowered forever in mourning for those who died 100 years ago. Paul Meinke, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC 7 Chicago YouTube channel.